Thank you, Army. Before you read this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you'll never miss another unforgettable BTS moment. Because tonight was not just a concert, it was a night where longing spoke louder than words. That night, the air was cool and trembling under the sea of purple lights. Thousands of army bombs shimmered like stars, waving gently in rhythm with the music. Jin stood proudly at the center of the stage, smiling, joking, radiating joy. But suddenly, something changed. In the middle of that bright, joyful energy, a silence began to spread, soft, emotional, and deep. Jimin looked up at the sky. His eyes shimmered, his lips trembled, and his hand gripped the light stick, tightly, as if holding on to something invisible, something precious. What was he feeling? Why did his gaze seem so distant, so full of emotion, as if waiting for someone who didn't come? It didn't take long for fans to notice. Suga wasn't there. No shadow of him backstage, no familiar deep voice in between the laughter. But strangely, his presence could still be felt, powerful and gentle, like a heartbeat under the music. Then, the big screen above the stage flickered. A black and white video began to play, simple, quiet, but carrying a voice that immediately made everyone hold their breath. I may not be there tonight, Suga's calm, slightly hoarse voice said, but you know, I'm always with them, just in ways you can't see. The crowd fell silent. The cheers faded into quiet sobs. Cameras turned to him and in that very moment, his tears fell. He lowered his head, biting his lip, staring at the screen as if he could touch the person behind it. Hyung, he mouthed silently, though the mic didn't catch the sound. Was it longing? Was it love? Brotherhood? Or memories too heavy to carry alone? Or perhaps, was Suga's message meant especially for him? The voice that wasn't there, yet filled the air. The video was short, just 2 minutes, but every word pierced the heart. I know you've all been working so hard, Suga continued, and I know, even when you smile, there's a kind of tiredness you can't put into words. As those lines played, Jimin covered his face with his hand. Fans in the front rows saw his shoulders trembling. He wasn't sobbing loudly, it was quieter than that. The kind of crying that comes when the heart finally breaks in silence. Why is he crying? Someone whispered. Maybe because Suga reminded him of something. Another replied softly. Yes, it wasn't just missing someone. It was remembering everything, every shared dream, every night spent working, every quiet word exchanged behind the lights. Suga and Jimin had always shared something special, a bond that didn't need words. They understood each other through small gestures, a nod, a pat on the shoulder, a quiet smile. And that night, silence became their language again. Suga spoke through the screen. Jimin answered with tears, eyes that searched the sky. When the video ended, the stage lights dimmed again. Jin began the next song, but Jimin stayed still, eyes fixed on the night sky above the arena. It was as if he was searching for something, or someone, in the stars. Hyung, can you hear me? That's what his expression seemed to whisper. After the concert, fans posted on Weverse. When Jimin looked up, it felt like he was talking to Suga without words. There was something unspoken between them, and we could all feel it. Did Jimin really feel Suga's presence that night? Or had Suga secretly prepared something only Jimin would understand? Moments later, the screen lit up again, this time showing simple white text on a dark background. For the ones who've always been the light of BTS. In the bottom corner of the screen, a small white paint splash symbol appeared, something only true fans would recognize. Army gasped. That symbol, it was Suga's signature mark, the one he used on his music, the one that meant creation, chaos, and emotion. And Jimin? He smiled through his tears. He recognized it instantly. It was Suga's silent hello. Jin walks over, and the truth unfolds. Jin, watching from the main stage, quietly walked toward Jimin. He gently placed a hand on his shoulder and said softly, "He's proud of you, Jimin." Those few words broke the silence. Thousands of fans fell quiet again, holding their breath. Jimin nodded, his eyes red and glassy. He hugged Jin briefly and whispered with a trembling smile, "I know, Hyung. I'm proud of him too." And just like that, the entire arena understood. This was not just a concert. It was a reunion of hearts, a message sent across distance and time, wrapped in music and love. Even when you're not here, you're always here. The next song began, a rearranged version of Spring Day. But this time, they didn't remove Suga's rap part. Instead, his original voice echoed through the speakers, blending with the live vocals. The sound was hauntingly beautiful, as if he were right there among them. Jimin sang his lines softly, eyes glistening. "You never walk alone." And at the very end, Suga's recorded voice came through once more, gentle, steady. "I'm always here." That was it. No more, no less. And yet, it was enough to make the entire stadium weep. The kind of missing you can't see. After the concert ended, Jimin posted a single line on Weverse. "Some people don't have to be present to make you feel accompanied." Every ARMY knew who he meant. Comments poured in. "He cried because of Suga. They understand each other without speaking." This isn't just missing someone. It's something deeper. One night, one message. Jin's concert that night will forever be remembered. Not just for the performances, but for the invisible thread that connected them all. Suga, though absent, found a way to be present. Through his voice, through his words, through a simple symbol of white ink splatter that said everything he couldn't say aloud. And Jimin, with tears and gratitude, answered in silence, proving that sometimes presence isn't physical, it's emotional. It's eternal. Maybe that's why BTS's bond is so rare, because even when they're apart, they still live for each other. That night, Jimin showed us that absence doesn't mean goodbye, and Suga reminded the world that his voice can still make us cry, even from afar. The night continued to unfold with waves of emotion that seemed impossible to contain. The lights dimmed for a moment, and on the massive screen behind Jimin, a soft image appeared, a memory of the 7 members standing together on stage years ago. The crowd gasped. The moment Jimin turned around and saw it, his smile trembled, his eyes glistened, and for a second, he froze. The screen showed Sugamin Yoongi standing next to him, holding a microphone and laughing, exactly as he used to. It wasn't a live feed, it was a flashback, but the timing was almost supernatural. Jimin placed his hand over his chest, as if his heart had suddenly grown too heavy. The audience fell into silence. Then, a single whisper escaped his lips, almost inaudible, "Yoongi Hyung." It was enough. That one word sent chills through every corner of the stadium. Armies screamed, some cried instantly. It was clear Suga wasn't physically there, but his absence was felt more deeply than words could ever explain. Was this planned? Or did Jimin ask for that old video to appear at that exact moment? Fans began to speculate even before the show ended. Why did he look at the left side of the stage as if someone was standing there? Why did he pause right before the last line of his solo, "Face"? Could it be that he was thinking of Suga all along? The emotion in his voice cracked as he sang again, tears streaming down his face. "Every time I fall, I'll rise again." The words hit harder than ever, as if Jimin wasn't just singing to his fans, but to the members who were apart from him, especially Suga, the brother who had once told him, "Never forget how far you've come, even when you feel lost." Behind the stage, staff members were reportedly seen comforting Jimin as soon as he stepped down. One of them revealed later, he held his phone tightly, looked at it, and smiled sadly before saying, "He's watching. I know he is." Was he talking about Suga? Was there a message exchanged before the concert began? Fans online noticed something else too. Jimin wore a silver bracelet that night, one that Yoongi had given him years ago during their promise recording. It gleamed under the stage lights, catching everyone's attention. Coincidence? Or was it Jimin's silent way of saying "I miss you too, Hyung"? The emotional storm only grew as Jimin bowed deeply at the end of the concert. He stayed still for several seconds, eyes closed, lips trembling. It felt as though he was whispering a prayer, a message, or maybe a thank you to someone far away. ARMYs shouted his name louder, and for a moment, the whole world seemed to echo with one emotion: longing.